It's 8/14/2016. Um, I just wanted to talk about the housing market. Um, Guys, one of the goals of the world government is to eventually own all the homes in our country. And people say, well, no, that's too big of a project. No, it's not, really isn't, considering what they control. And now think back to '08, and what really caused that was the mortgage companies giving out loans to people that really shouldn't have had these balloon loans. And so you'd have to ask yourself, well, what happened all of a sudden in those few years before that? You know, all of a sudden these mortgage companies just decide, look, we can give out these loans, and it's not going to be a big deal. Or, I don't even know. There was probably some laws passed back then that set this up. So, uh, you know, did all of a sudden the people that set these that made these laws happen, did they all of a sudden just not be able to look in the future and see what they were setting up? That would be a massive failure. I don't know, guys, if there was laws set up or not. But what I'm saying is, um, something like that's not going to happen on its own. You're not going to all of a sudden have all these mortgage companies all at once giving out these bad loans. And, knowing that these people were going to, that it was going to fail. And so when this failed, the banks ended up taking a lot of these homes. And the banks are they're all world government, all your big banks. So there might be a few small ones here and there if there's any left that aren't world government, but all your big banks are going to be world government. And so when they fail, mortgages fail, then the banks get them, or the world government gets them. Well, people say, well, they sold them. They sold these houses. Well, guys, the world system, the world government system is huge, and there are literally millions of people living in the United States that are world government, and they could easily just sell these homes to these people and set that all up to sell it to them. So, one person could own 10 homes, and that person would be world government. Now, for people that don't know about the world government, all this would sound crazy. It would sound too big. But start researching the Illuminati or world government, and you'll see how much they actually run. And this stuff isn't being hidden like it used to. People are really speaking out about this now. And so it's not as hidden as it was, say, 10 years ago, with so many things now that are just coming out in the open, and so many more people talking about them than there was years ago. So anyways, you got to ask yourself, how would this happen? How would all these mortgage companies all at the same time just decide to start giving out bad loans? Now, that's just not something. It's just not going to happen on its own, guys. It's just not going to happen that way. And so, in my area, many of these foreclosed homes ended up being rentals. So you had people that were, probably owned many homes that ended up buying these rental properties, or buying these houses and renting them out. And now you see the same thing being set up again, as we're in 2016, and as we're going into 2017, you can kind of see that same thing being set up again. So there'll be another time where they have these failures again. But this time it might be the big failure, the big collapse. Because if you look worldwide, many countries are in trouble right now. And that kind of goes back to the same thing. What are the odds of all these countries failing at the same time? Well, the world system is controlling all the majority of these countries, and so they're collapsing this all at the same time. Now, we don't know how close we are to that collapse that they've been planning for decades, but they're definitely planning it, and you can see it being set up now. So the second failure that's going to come, I believe next year, that might coincide with a total worldwide collapse. But either way, the world system is taking the homes. Now you'll just see down the road that home ownership will just get less and less. Now if there's a big collapse, it'll be a huge across the board where most people will lose their homes. I think we just heard recently now that the least number of homes owned by individuals since the 1950s. So why would that be? I mean, shouldn't things constantly be getting better where people are just owning their own homes and being able to afford but it's not working that way anymore, guys. And this is all planned out by the world system for this failure that's coming. So you will see less and less individual homes being owned by people. Now the same number of homes are there. In fact, they're even building more homes all the time. So then you have to have just a lot of individuals owning more than one home if there's going to be less and less people owning their own home. So, and that's what I witnessed in the 08. Like I was saying, many of the homes in my area that failed ended up being rentals. So you had, people owning multiple homes. But the point of this is, guys, is this whole thing is set up. You're going to see the home ownership all eventually go away for the majority of the people. If you got people that have their houses paid, they might be able to keep them during the collapse. But then again, you're not going to be able to pay for the water probably, depending on how bad the collapse is. But you're going to have a lot of people that probably can't even pay for the water, so the houses will probably end up going to somebody. So I wanted people to just think, what would be the odds of that happening? Of all of a sudden all the mortgage companies just making these bogus loans, and you say, well, certain things change in the rules, and so that's why they did it. Well, you still wouldn't do it. You still wouldn't go out there and knowing that these are going to fail and put these mortgages out, and they do it in a way that makes it hard, somewhat hard to prove, but the bottom line is you'll see home ownership just going away, and if the big collapse happens, you'll see a lot of people lose their home over just a short period of time. So I just ask people to research the world system, check out the Illuminati, check out the world government, and find out what they're up to. Look at Agenda 21, and you'll see a worldwide control that's already being applied today. I just, guys, I just wish people would kind of look into things and try to do the right thing. I mean, if you're a Christian, we have to fight against this system. Ephesians, is it 5:11? I think it is. Ephesians 5:11 says, "Have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather expose them." So as we learn this stuff and the evils that this world system is doing today, we just have to try to expose it and get it out the best we can. But they have a lot of high-tech stuff that they can come after you with today, guys. So you pay a big price when you try to get the truth out. But so anyway, guys, John 3:3 it says that no one will make it in the kingdom of heaven unless they're born again. So there's a point where you've got to be born again. You know, when you're born again, you have the Holy Spirit come into you, and your name is written in the Lamb's Book of Life. And so you really need to accept God. You need to just say, God, forgive me my sins, come into my life and be my Lord and Savior. And He will do it. He will do it. He will save you. But you need to really go after Him and ask Him, and you will be saved. When we go into these tough times at the end, I just wish God would tell me when it's coming, because many people will be suffering at that time. We know the Bible basically tells that roughly half the people will die off in that last 7 years. And the people that are doing a lot of that deception at the end are the people that are taking these houses today. And they're not going to stop till they get them all. And that's part of their plan. Just look up the Georgia Guidestones, and there's a plan there written in stone to reduce the population of the world. And that this stone monument, if you will, was written or was constructed by somebody. I don't even think they know who it was that constructed this monument, but yet it appears to be protected by the state. I mean, if you try to vandalize it, I guess, cops will show up. And so you have to ask yourself, why would it be protected if it's just somebody built it? I mean, if me or you built something like that, would the state protect it? I don't know. I mean, that's what appears to be what they're doing, is they're, if you try to do something to it, that, people will show up. So, I don't know. It's something you should look into and ask yourself, why is that there, and why is nobody taking it down? It's just a bizarre thing, the Georgia Guidestones. But if you look into this stuff, the world government's not hiding. I mean, they're hiding, but they're much more out in the open, and you can see they're there. But anyways, I'll just conclude this here. But look for those houses to be taken, guys. There'll be a time when that home ownership is basically almost a thing of the past. There might be a small percentage that hangs on to their homes, but it'll be a small percentage. So thanks for watching.